Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've literally just found out your kid is being bullied, I want to say right off the bat that the intense, protective anger you're feeling right now, it is completely valid. It's entirely normal. As the parent, your very first job, your deepest instinct, is to protect your child, and it is so incredibly easy to jump straight to demanding the absolute harshest punishment possible. You might be thinking, the school just needs to suspend that kid for a month or expel them entirely, and this whole nightmare will finally stop. Well, let's dive into this, because while that reaction comes from a place of deep, deep love, relying only on the strongest possible consequence might actually leave your child unprotected in the long run.
So let's think about this for a second. Does a bigger punishment actually equal a bigger change? We usually assume that if a penalty is severe enough, like a super long suspension, it automatically fixes the problem. But here's the surprising truth we really need to unpack. A massive punishment doesn't always create lasting behavioral change. What often happens is that a bullying child might stop for a few days just because the adults are hovering. But then, the behavior just moves underground. It shifts from the middle of the school hallway into a private group chat, where honestly, worse, that child's friends might just carry on the bullying for them.
To put this into perspective, let's look at two totally different approaches to school discipline. On one side, we've got zero-tolerance rules, things like automatic suspensions or strict 3 strikes and you're out policies. Now, these offer a really nice illusion of safety, but they can actually make students, and even adults, way less willing to report problems because they know the only outcome is total removal. On the flip side, we see multi-step approaches. Official U.S. guidance actually tells us that combining clear rules with active teaching, much better adult supervision, and solid parent contact is what reliably reduces bullying. Simply removing a student doesn't magically fix the environment where the bullying grew in the first place, right?
All right, let's move on to some understandable parent traps. Seeking safety in the wrong places.
I want to be super clear about something here. We parents do not fall into these disciplinary traps because we're cruel or vindictive. If you've made these demands, it is coming from a desperate, totally understandable need for your child's safety, not malice. When your kid is hurting, seeing a really harsh punishment handed down feels like proof that the adults in charge actually care. It feels fair. But measuring safety by suspension days? That's a huge trap. A 10-day suspension does not mean your child is automatically safe on day 11 when that student comes back. Then there's demanding public shame, like wanting the kid called out in front of the whole team. That might feel like justice, but it usually just kicks off new gossip or honestly makes them a hero to the other rule breakers. We also tend to think fear teaches empathy. A painful punishment might make a child terrified of getting caught, sure, but fear absolutely does not teach them how to problem solve or actually care about the harm they caused. Sometimes we even call the child a monster in the heat of the moment, which really doesn't help the school address the specific behaviors. And finally, the most heartbreaking trap of all, completely forgetting the targeted child in our frantic quest for justice.
Because here is the absolute most crucial point to remember out of all of this. Your child's healing does not depend on how badly another child is punished. Sometimes as parents, all of our attention gets completely consumed by that other child's discipline. And meanwhile, our own kid is still terrified to walk into the cafeteria or open their phone or ride the bus. What your child urgently needs right now are safe adults, maybe a route change around the school, and concrete, visible support so they can actually feel secure today.
Now hold on, we absolutely have to carve out a massive exception here. There are absolute red lines. If we are talking about physical attacks, believable threats, weapons, sexual abuse or images, blackmail or stalking, these are severe, immediate dangers. Safety always comes first, period. In these cases, schools and authorities absolutely must use strong, immediate removal to separate the kids and neutralize the threat. We are literally never talking about leaving a child in immediate physical danger just to be gentle. But remember, even after an emergency removal happens, a full plan is still needed to lower the danger for tomorrow.
So, assuming we aren't dealing with an immediate criminal or physical emergency, we really need to pivot our mindset. If we know that just demanding maximum punishment isn't a magic fix, what on earth should we be doing instead? Well, there is one vital question you absolutely must ask the school to guarantee lasting safety for your child.
And it's this: what will make the behavior stop and stay stopped? Seriously, make this quote your anchor. When you sit down in that tense school meeting, your goal isn't just to extract some one-time penalty. Your goal is to demand a comprehensive plan. You want to know exactly what is going to change in the environment, who specifically is going to be watching, and how the school guarantees this doesn't just start all over again next Tuesday.
Which brings us to the Reset Plan, building lasting safety.
The Reset Plan is your actionable, step-by-step tool to actually hold the school accountable. It moves us away from just wishing for harsh discipline, and it replaces mere punishment with a really powerful combination of consequences plus teaching. It breaks down like this. Step 1. Remove the danger. Stop the unsafe contact and increase adult supervision. Step 2. Explain the exact behavior. We need plain words here. No vague, unhelpful terms like drama. Step 3. Set a fair consequence that actually fits the act. Step 4. Equip the child with better skills. This part is vital, guys. Equipping a child who bullies with skills on how to handle group pressure or anger, that doesn't erase their responsibility. It actively prevents their very next attack. And Step 5. Track what happens next. Check back in a few days to see if the plan is actually working.
You might be wondering, what does a fair consequence actually look like in real life compared to just raw punishment? Well, punishment alone usually looks like secret tricks, angry surprises, or pure isolation. But a real consequence paired with teaching is directly connected to the behavior itself. For example, if a child misused a group chat to bully, a fair consequence isn't just giving them a suspension from school. It's limiting their digital access while adults actively supervise them and teaching them safe online choices. That way, the child understands exactly what rule they broke, what the consequence is, and exactly how adults will know they've changed.
Okay, to make all of this completely manageable, because I know it's overwhelming, here is your concrete timeline. In the first 24 hours, check immediate safety and save every piece of digital proof. Screenshots are your absolute best friend here. In the next 24 hours, write down a clear timeline of events and decide what your child needs right this second, like maybe a supervised lunch or a route change. By the 72-hour mark, contact the school to demand that full reset plan. And then over the next 7 days, do brief, calm daily check-ins with your child. Please, don't interrogate them for an hour every single night. Keep it light. Just ask simple things like, hey, did anything happen today? Did you know which adult to go to?
When you do finally sit down and speak to the school, having the right words in your back pocket is incredibly empowering. You can literally use this exact language. I want a serious response, but I also want a plan that stops the behavior after the consequence ends. This keeps you calm and it keeps you focused. Schools often cannot legally tell you the private discipline record of another student. If you go in there demanding to know their exact punishment, you are just going to get frustrated. Instead, use the script to demand safety steps and adult supervision for your own child, because that is something the school absolutely can and must provide.
Now, I really want to reassure you here. Shifting away from just demanding harsh, zero-tolerance punishment isn't just some gentle feel-good opinion. This approach is heavily backed by top researchers and official U.S. guidance. I mean, the American Psychological Association, Campbell's Systematic Reviews, the CDC, they all point to the exact same finding. Multi-step, school-based programs that focus on clear rules, active teaching, and supporting the actual children involved, that is what reliably reduces bullying. So the science is totally on your side when you walk in and demand a comprehensive plan.
Look, wanting a strong response doesn't make you a difficult parent. It just means you want your kid protected, plain and simple. But as we've explored in this explainer, the harshest punishment isn't automatically the safest plan. So I want to leave you with this provocative thought. The next time you hear a school official say, "Don't worry, they were punished," will you just stop there? Or will you ask the ultimate question? What will stop this from starting up again tomorrow, through a friend or on a screen? Shifting your fierce mama bear or papa bear protective instinct from revenge to lasting safety is literally the most powerful thing you can do to equip and protect your child.